What's the deal? It's your boy J Mike, Mr. Athletic over everything for no hobbies, only obsession, as well as my clothing brand, Athletic over everything. Today I just wanted to give you guys a little advice when it comes to listening to the clothing creators or garment influencers. If you listen to them, a lot of cases you're going to wind up being the one left with the bag. And you know, I believe you should take all of the information that people who sit behind the camera offer, take their experience, take what they're saying as a stepping stone or a block, right? One of my biggest issues, or the things that I didn't like doing when I first got involved into garment decorating, was paying for samples. Now, this is almost my 7th year with my clothing brand. I've had an embroidery machine now for 2 years. I've had Fusion IQs. I have the big heat press as well as the hat press. I have a bunch of equipment. But also, a lot of my mistakes happen with buying garments, right? Once you figure out what type of brand you're going to be becoming, in terms of are you selling to people to be worn in a fashionable sense? Are you selling to people who are purely making shirts for family reunions and things of that nature? The quality of shirt is going to change. So when you hear influencers talk about how much a shirt costs, if they're saying a shirt is $2 or $2.50, those shirts are not going to be the type of shirts that you're going to start a clothing line with. Those are going to be the one-time use type shirts, you know, family reunions, competition shirts that like powerlifting meets and stuff like that. You can get away with a $2.50 shirt. But if you're looking to do not high fashion, but streetwear and stuff like that, you can't get away with the cheaper shirts like that. And I'm just going to give you guys a couple of instances and situations where me listening to influencers thinking that they kind of have the best outlook on their followers can be done wrong, right? When I first got into this, I'm listening to some of the influencers, and at the time, the influencers were pushing vinyl on different customers, right? On different, you know, this is the #1 vinyl in the United States right now, hands down. Has the best feel. It goes on the best. It feels like screen printed. They tell you all this stuff about these particular vinyls, and this is what I'm using. Bam, bam, bam. So I hear it, and I'm thinking, well, damn, if my favorite influencer is using this type of vinyl, I'm in the market for vinyl. This is what I'm gonna go with. So I mess around and buy a shitload of this vinyl. And the vinyl was okay. It wasn't, you know, now it wasn't the best, but at the time I didn't have a problem with it because where I was in my business, it was okay, right? But I hear like 2 weeks later him saying, don't use that vinyl. They don't respect our dollar. So if they don't respect our dollar, we're going elsewhere. We're going to go to another company. And I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, wait a minute, you were so high on this particular brand, on this particular company, and now out of nowhere, we shouldn't use them? So I kind of looked at that kind of sideways, and then I thought about it. The influencer thought that, okay, I have influence. People are going to use my promo code to buy this vinyl. So at some point, I should get a kickback or a bigger kickback because my following is purchasing your vinyl. And I think they didn't give him what he wanted. So now he says, let's not use that because they don't respect us. No, they didn't respect him. And part of the reason they didn't respect him was because they're unprofessional. A lot of times, and that's another video I'm gonna get into in terms of influencers and how some of them fall out of favor with these big companies due to the fact that they're not professional. But I found myself burned with all this vinyl in a sense of like, damn, this guy said that this is the best vinyl. Now he's saying don't use it. So it made me kind of side-eye when they actually made assertions or like definitive, this is the best and stuff like that. And then I got into the same influencer, by the way, started talking about the best blanks on the planet. These are the #1 blanks. These are the blanks we're using. So I was like, okay, well, you know, he has a business. He has clothing lines. He's also printing stuff for other people. You know, this must be a good blank. I look into it, purchase a bunch of blanks. The blanks are okay. They're not that great. They're not Bella Canvas. They're not some of the more premier type quality shirts, but they were okay. They were due. But then a couple weeks later, we're not using those shirts. We're doing this shirt now. And you just start seeing like, and then right afterwards they say, use my promo code. And it gets to the point where as a consumer or a follower, you kind of feel nasty about it. That's why when you hear influencers talk about, all you have to do is just use my promo code, it doesn't hurt you. But when it constantly gets thrown in your face all the time, you seem not to want to help them or use it. And I found that if you're promoting yourself, hey, go to my website, check out what I got going on, blase. I have I will most likely go to that website if you're the person selling something versus you telling me to go buy something from someone else. But in this particular instance, I have all these shirts now. So I went through a like stage where I bought a bunch of different shirts from a bunch of different companies. And then when I found out the type of clothes that I wanted to make and sell, those shirts did not mix with what I had going on. So I have thousands of dollars of shirts that I would not put my brand on. Now, if someone else, if I produce clothing for other companies or other events or something like that, I could possibly use those shirts, but I wouldn't want to put my brand on none of those shirts. I know the shirts that I want to use. You know what I'm saying? So just be very careful when an influencer is telling you to buy something, or they're giving suggestions on, you know, what's the latest and greatest, because a lot of times their influence is being used in order for them to make money off of. It's not the best thing to do. Now, to beat this, what I do recommend, and I think that if I would have done this, I would have saved a lot of money, is if I would have, like, okay, you like Bella Canvas? Okay, cool. What number Bella Canvas? Take the shirt down. Go buy one shirt of a Bella Canvas. Print the stuff that I want to produce for my company on that shirt and see if I like it. A lot of times when you're doing samples, you wind up having to pay a whole bunch of money for a particular sample. So like, say for instance, my hoodies, some of my sweat jackets and stuff like that, I use a particular company, and you can get stuff non-wholesale, but it's super expensive. So you might spend $60 for the hoodie, but if you get it wholesale, you can get the hoodie for $35 or $30. This is a high-end hoodie. At the time, I kind of figured that this particular company was a good company, so I just went all out and bought a bulk order of hoodies, and I got lucky that they were truly legit. But if I had to do that over, I would go and get 5 different samples from 5 different companies, maybe 3 different colors of each shirt of each company, and explore my designs on these different shirts, and then I can come up with a better conclusion on what I want to use on certain products. Because right now, Gildan has a bad name in streetwear for being kind of cheap, but they do have a couple of different style shirts that are decent. They make certain colors that they don't make in Bella Canvas, or Bella Canvas has colors that the Gildan shirts won't have, or American Apparel, things of that nature. So what I found is, so say for instance, if I'm using Bella Canvas for all my black shirts, but then when I want to use a red, I don't really like the red that the Bella's Canvas uses, so I might use American Apparel for my red shirts. But I know that now because I've gone through all these shirts. But just be very careful, do your due diligence when it comes down to figuring out what you want to use, because if you go by these influencers, you're going to wind up changing every time they get a new sponsor, and you don't want to get caught up in that. So this is a quick little video to help some of you guys out. Now, if you guys are interested in checking out what I got going on, you can go over to athletikovereverything.com. You can check out some of my apparel and things that I have going on there. You can also go to my Instagram, Mr. Athletic Over Everything. I'm a professional power lifter, freak athlete, and if you got any questions, just leave them in a comment. Until next time, holla.